Oklahoma City Thunder select Chet Holmgren from Gonzaga University.
What a pass. Giddy underneath for JRE. The reverse and the rookie-to-rookie action. SGA defended closely by Westbrook. Tough. Step back. Gets up the shot. Banks it in for the lead.
This is Udart. You're listening to the Uncontested.
What is up, and welcome to the Uncontested podcast, coming to you live Sunday, March 5th, during a beautiful day in Oklahoma City, and maybe even a more beautiful basketball victory in Oklahoma City. I'm your host for the evening, Jacob Niffen. I've got my guy Justin Peabody with me.
Hello, everybody.
Also got Taylor Peterson along for the ride tonight.
Just reminiscing about what J-Dub can eventually become.
We are brought to you by the Blue Wire Podcast Network and dailythunder.com. And gentlemen, for the second time in 3 days, the Oklahoma City Thunder have defeated the Utah Jazz, this time 129 to 119. And it wasn't that close. A 10-point difference at the end of the game that does not tell the story of this game. This game,
Dominant.
just an ass beating from the word go.
Correct. Wire to
just
wire,
realized I
two
said-
games in a row, which is kind of impressive.
Just realized I said reminiscing on what J-Dub can be. I'm trying to decide if I was going to go with reminiscing on J-Dub's game or daydreaming about what he could be. Kind of messed that up there.
I'm thinking about the past when I think about the future.
Yeah, it's just a Thunder.
Taylor's living in the year 3000.
Taylor's living in the year that the Thunder win the championship, and he's reminiscing.
Oh,
about rookie
so
J-Dub.
2024.
There we go.
Hey,
We're going to
Well
break
played.
down this OKC Utah game with you guys. We got quite a bit of other things to jump into. Talk about some play-in basketball, possibly. We got some around the association. You guys are already going crazy in the chat. Keep those comments coming. If you don't already, make sure you sub to the YouTube channel, dude. It's a blast over here. It's so much fun. Like, even on post-game podcasts, when we're typically on here solo, you're not really solo because you have all the degenerates in the chat just saying crazy stuff.
it's
My
way
favorite
better
thing
than
is Jacob dubbing them that.
Yes.
No pun intended. It's pretty awesome.
It's way better than when we used to not live stream and you're just talking to like GarageBand on your computer.
Yeah,
Oh my
100%.
gosh.
100%. Gentlemen, what a fun game. So much stuff to talk about. Once again, the Thunder defeat the Utah Jazz 129-119. If hopefully you listened to the podcast that Justin did Friday night after the Thunder beat the Utah Jazz. I forget how much of a
130
victory.
to 103.
there you go. Nearly 30 points.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of garbage time. I thought we were headed towards garbage time tonight.
Mm-hmm.
And then Shea goes to check back in with like 7 minutes left in the game. And I was like,
That's what I said too.
I thought they were talking about a minutes restriction earlier today.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
But incredible stuff. So typically,
Jazz were pulling some tank levers tonight.
No Markkanen.
Yeah.
No Clarkson 2 nights ago. Speaking of Friday.
yep.
Mhm.
Is Colin Sexton injured? I haven't been paying attention because he didn't play both nights.
I
think he's just out.
Yeah.
They played Pinocchio like 40 minutes the past 2 games.
Pinocchio.
I was at the game on Friday night and I leaned over to my mom and I was like, I don't know how to pronounce that guy's name, but it reminds me of Pinocchio. And then literally like 5 minutes later, he hit a shot and someone
That's
behind
amazing.
me in the arena goes, I'm a real boy. I
That's
lost
incredible.
it. It was good. It was good.
Shout out to Fontio.
Fonticio. We should not be trusting Taylor.
Fettuccino.
Jesus. Tap dancing Christ, Taylor. All right. As a normal post-game podcast, we typically talk about our big takeaways. So, what are some of the big takeaways from tonight, gentlemen?
I missed Shea playing basketball.
Oh my God.
Agreed.
That boy good.
Also, like I was way too excited for a regular season game, hearing that my favorite player was coming back. Like yesterday when we got the news that Shea wasn't on the injury report, was irrationally excited to see him play again tonight. And it's just really, really fun to kind of have that feeling again as a fan, right? Like we oftentimes try and like step away as much as we can from being fans when we're breaking things down for the podcast. But as a whole, the whole reason we started this podcast is because we're fans of the Oklahoma City Thunder. And obviously, that comes along with being a fan of Shea and the way that he's played, just like you were getting into, Justin, this entire season, and seeing him come back, after the All-Star break, after not getting to see him for 4 straight games. Really, really fun, exciting stuff. And I think the crazy part of it all is Daigneault said he didn't even really seem like in shape.
Yeah.
Didn't really have his legs under him.
Same.
And I think
post-game Daigneault said
posted to 48 points.
Yeah, post-game Daigneault said something along the lines of like, yeah, I thought he was fine. The conditioning's not there yet, but I'll get there. And I was like, yeah, he was fine. 38 points on 10 of 17 from the field, 17 of 19 from the free throw line, 7 rebounds, 4 assists, 3 steals, and a block. Yeah, it was fine.
It wasn't Coast, it was Cruz. He said his conditioning was a little down. I thought he was moving really well, got fouled a lot. I didn't think he played his best game, but he certainly cruised to 38.
Wow. I would
Just
like to cruise to 38 points.
Agreed.
If you totaled up every pickup run point I've scored in the last 5 years, I don't know if it gets you to 38. I mean,
you're probably not living at the stripe either.
That's true. Speaking of Shea, you guys mentioned it. He comes back from COVID and an abdominal strain. Coach talked about the abdominal strain pregame, said if this was back in October, November, they just sit him.
Yep.
But I think he specifically said in the predicament that we are in and the stage of the season we are in, that's not really an option. So they're going to monitor his minutes, not necessarily like his minutes per game, but the amount of minutes he plays in a single stretch in the game. Probably not playing the whole first quarter.
Yep.
They're going to look at some back-to-backs, maybe get him some rest. Guys, to me, that means we're not tanking. We're trying to win basketball games.
Correct.
And Grant, again, I shout out to the reporters who bring us these quotes, right? But you can only tweet out so much, especially when it's a long quote like it was. I thought they did a really good job. People like Clemente, Ryan Stiles, trying to think who else was there. Joe Masato was not there tonight. They did transcribe the entirety of the quote shortly after. But obviously at the time of a presser like that, like availability, you're just tweeting out tidbits. And because of that, again, it kind of got taken out of context by the national sites monitoring player availability. Like, what was it? Underdog Fantasy or whatever it is, tweet out Shea's minutes are going to be a Shea abdominal strain, tanking in parentheses, his minutes are going to be monitored moving forward. I agree. If you read the full quote, Jacob, if you listen to the full quote, that is not what Daigneault was getting at all.
It's the opposite.
Fact, right. And that's what we saw tonight. I was not expecting, like you said, I was not expecting him to be playing down the stretch, especially given, like you guys said, just how much of a butt whooping this one really was.
Yeah.
37 minutes for Shea tonight.
Yeah. I think that's super telling as far as where the organizational mindset is. I said this on my pod Friday night of like, I don't know that a decision's been made yet, but it probably will get made. That quote kind of sounds like a decision's been made. Like,
I would agree, Justin.
You're not playing Chet. Chet. Sorry. I was reading the comments.
Sorry.
There's like
he's coming back, folks.
4 straight comments talking about Chet, and I got distracted.
Hey, he is playing 5-on-0.
Shea right now, if you're content with just pushing lottery odds. Like this team is making a push, and I think that's honestly like kind of surprising to me slightly. That's a definite shift. Whereas I think in the past we used these opportunities. The Thunder took any opportunity that came their way to pull a lever and gun for better odds. And I think this would have been a very easy out to do so. And they're choosing to do the opposite.
I don't want to completely take us off of Shea because I think there's a lot to talk about there, especially how well he played defensively. And Jacob, you can probably speak to that more than anyone, but just kind of on that line, one of these smaller takeaways, I guess I can just kind of throw into this one that you guys are talking with y'all talking about not tanking, right? Kind of pivoting the other direction, playing guys like Shea, playing guys like Sarge, giving those people time or those players time over players like we didn't see Trey Man tonight and we didn't see JRE for the second straight game.
Yep.
That does not mean, to be very clear, there are some, I think, listeners and people who listen to this podcast maybe have selective hearing or selective listening. That does not mean this team is giving up on them necessarily, but those are two players who have kind of fallen behind in the pecking order. That's something that we've kind of heard Presti talk about and allude to preseason, even at an exit interview last season. Like some guys are going to fall behind in terms of development. You have to play the players, that essentially that you need to play. And that's kind of what we've seen the last two nights. Found it really interesting. Obviously we can get some of the guys that played in those two players' stead. But yeah, I think that just kind of goes to what you two are talking about in regards to tanking versus playing this thing out and seeing where it leads us.
I think someone would say the opposite side of that coin, Taylor's Olivier Sarr got minutes.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Touche.
Very good point.
Hey, we'll get to Usman
played
in a second.
well.
That's what I didn't want to mention his name because I knew
I have a quote here. Let me find it real quick from Clemente. Clemente has been doing an awesome job covering the team this year. So shout out to Clemente. Also played pickup with Clemente yesterday in an air conditioned metal building. It was hotter than Satan's butthole in there. And Clemente is running wind sprints in a 4-on-4 full court. So shout out to Clemente. That dude
Amazing.
Built different. Clemente, Jalen on Usman Jang. He's been playing well. I'm happy for him. He's still got stuff to figure out, and I think he's figuring it out pretty fast. I just think it's hilarious that the 12th overall pick is talking about the 11th overall pick like
that's
that.
what I was
That
just
is
thinking.
so funny.
I think that's hilarious. But
Daniel had a good quote about him too. I guess we can go ahead and transition to Jang a little
well,
bit.
I still have some more Shea stuff. Give me just a second.
I did. Yeah, no, I'm with you.
Like, Justin, I think you hit it on the head. It seems like a decision
Yep.
is kind of being made. Shea came out like there's times where Shea is really fired up, but most of the time Shea is a pretty cool operator.
Yep.
He's like almost the antithesis of Russell Westbrook
Yes.
in his time with Oklahoma City in really every way possible. But tonight, like Shea, I forget what bucket it was in the first quarter. Oh, it was the transition pull-up three. And I think one of Shea's buddies was sitting courtside tonight because he kept looking over at this guy.
him.
He was talking shit. He was chirping at everybody. He was coming back to the bench like John and like kind of reminiscent of the I'm him moment in LA.
Yes.
And then in the third quarter, Tayler was mentioning his defense. I mean, it is Girl Scout cookie season. That man was getting cookies. I mean, he was ripping people left and right.
That point of attack defense was absurd. I mean, just
like,
so engaged.
Really, really impressive. Whoever is here on the live stream, and if you're listening to the podcast, if you are religious at all, I would just go to bed and say a prayer for Chris Dunn tonight. That man spent a weekend in Oklahoma City and just got fucking barbecued. I mean, absolutely barbecued.
And then Dub and Shea. Poor
Dub
guy.
crossed that man
Poor
into the
guy.
shadow realm Friday night and hit
Yes,
a
he
little
did.
layup over him. And then Shea just abused him like a stepchild tonight. It was horrible. That was it. The second quarter, that move where Shea got him on the up and under, and
Oh my gosh, that was
I mean,
dirty.
it's filthy.
Dirty.
Like you might as well slap an X rating on that thing and put it on a certain website. I mean, Lord have mercy on my soul. That was gross.
If Silva was here, there's a sounder to be played.
Lord have mercy.
Lord have mercy, I'm about to bust.
There we go.
We don't need Silva.
But
I can
that's
do
right.
sounders all
That's
by myself.
Improv so
Yeah.
much better.
Yeah.
That's
Kind of
really all I
Shea's-
got on Shea, though. If we want to transition,
Yeah, I would know. I'm with you. We just had to talk about the defense and the way he was so engaged defensively. Not only that, it got to a point like you mentioned there in the third quarter, Jacob, where he was so engaged that he was literally he knew whoever was holding it was the ball handler for the Jazz at any given point. He could just go for the ball. He wasn't going to get called for the foul. I mean, he was just laser focused. It was I don't know. I mean, we've seen Shea progressively get better at that
Yeah.
throughout the years, throughout this season even. But I mean, I think kind of peaked tonight.
It was awesome. I'll do next takeaway, which I feel like this is a takeaway in every post game. It's really hard to overstate just how damn impressive Jalen Williams is as a freaking rookie. Tonight, he sets his career high 32 points on 12 of 15 field goals, 4 of 5 from 3, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 steals, and 2 blocks.
Just doing it all.
Doing
Oh
it
my
all.
God, that dunk not dunk. The attempted dunk that he blocked there. Speaking of blocks and steals, what was it? Was it the first quarter?
Second quarter, he blew up the lob. And then
That
the
was-
next possession, someone went inside and tried to throw a little entry pass. And he was in the opposite corner and read it and just jumped in front of it and took off. Mark talks a lot about J-Dub's instincts and how he reads the game and how he sees things before they happen. You are now seeing the game really slow down for Dub.
Yes.
He's really processing it at a quicker pace now. The game has slowed for him. And I thought there were some moments tonight where he was just out there letting it hang. I mean, he was confident.
Yes.
He
Some of
knew
those drives.
whenever Shea was off the court, he knew he was the best player of all 10 guys on the court. He's just like, he had a drive in the third quarter where he like crossed over and went to the right and never like picked the ball up, just went off the dribble and did like this crazy scoop,
Weaved
almost
through
hook
2
type
defenders
thing.
and then kissed it off the glass.
I mean,
yeah.
I have no clue how it went in. His extension on some of his layups with that 7'3" wingspan. I mean, some people like I've heard some national people say like this guy's got, all the ingredients to be a really, really, really high level role player, like a Mikal Bridges or a who like I don't know, dude. If you look at what he's doing at the age he's doing it at and the trajectory,
with the limited experience, kind of it goes to age, but
this has
still.
all-star written all over it.
100%. Also 4 or 5 from 3. And so not only is he able to take over, like you mentioned, Jacob, when Giddy and Shea are off the court, which as I think worth mentioning, Dagnall's starting to do intentionally. I think that's very important to mention, and that's been fantastic. He 4 or 5 from 3 is huge. Being able to hit, catch, and shoot jumpers. I mean, I talk a lot about that with some of these guys. Yeah, well, especially with Giddy and Shea playing alongside them. So not only can he play alongside them and coexist, he's also able to do his own thing. I mean, it's just he continues to blow me away as well.
Yeah, I think I said the phrase he does it all like 3 times in a minute talking about J-Dub on Friday night, because every stat line, he's got something going on in every measurable category that you could have. It's so impressive.
What is it, like 5 of 6 of his last games now, or 5 of his last 6 games now? He has 20 plus points.
Yeah,
4 or
20
5.
plus.
4 or 5.
4 or 5.
For the season now,
Awesome.
J-Dub is up to 13.3 points, 52% shooting, 35% from the 3-point line on 3 attempts a game, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, and 1.5 steals.
35% from 3 is pretty good. That's better than I think.
Considering where he
guessed.
started.
Very good.
Yeah, I think that's better than I would have guessed.
You look over, I mean, again, I know this is just off the top of my head. I haven't pulled this recently. What he's shooting from 3 post All-Star break is absolutely absurd. Also, StatMuse tweeted this out. First Thunder rookie with 35-5 since Westbrook, which is kind of just an absurd stat. Obviously, Shea wasn't a rookie here in OKC, but still a pretty incredible context. And then also, this was tweeted out from Thunder PR. After his career high 32 points tonight, Dub now leads all Western Conference rookies in scoring at that 13.3 mark that Jacob just mentioned. So some pretty, not even elite company. I mean, he's just leading these categories in every sense. Yeah. Benedict Mathurin.
Yeah.
I think he's pretty firmly supplanted himself above Mathurin in the rookie of the year race, right there behind Paolo.
Yeah, I don't think he'll get rookie of the year, but he's first team all rookie.
Agreed.
Easy.
Like easy. Justin, another takeaway.
Another takeaway is that I was not prepared for you to come back to me. Let's go with Josh Giddey. I think continuing his strong stretch of play. I think another really well-rounded game. That was the word I kept coming back to in the last Jazz game, was like well-rounded. It's nice to see him bounce back and forth, like having the opportunities without Shea. And then, obviously coming into the season, the huge question mark was playing alongside Shea. I think continuing to see him execute is so important. I think that maybe the debate between like, oh, Giddy versus J-Dub, like, I don't know why we feel compelled to have that debate. Is it a debate? Porque no los dos? But I think that just continuing to see him develop is so important. I think it gets overlooked, like how young he is. Yes, he's in his second year, but he's younger than J-Dub. I have to bring that up again because it's weird every time I say it out loud. I think there's so many things to be encouraged about with J-Dub that I think that it maybe gets overlooked a little bit with the excitement excited about with Giddy. It gets overlooked because of the excitement with J-Dub.
Yeah, Giddy was awesome tonight. 24, 9, and 9. My takeaway is he doesn't want Justin to get any Tim Tams.
Dude,
so,
I want
so
Tim
true.
Tams so bad.
He's flirting with it.
I'm going to have to buy him for myself if I don't get any out of this bet.
10 of 16 from the field for Josh. 4 of 6 from 3 is
That's
the
the big one.
And he had a play tonight. Wasn't a 3. He had the ball out on the left wing, gave like a head fake, a jab step, another head fake. And I want to say it was Jordan Clarkson on him. And Justin, you mentioned this on your Friday show. I talk about it all the time. Josh Giddey took one dribble, turned around, and just bumped Jordan Clarkson like 3 feet off the ball, escorted him down to the rim, and hit a shot over him. And it was like a proud dad moment.
Yes.
I was like, dude, yes. Like, you have 40 pounds on him. Just escort his little skinny ass to the rim and get yourself a bucket. And that's exactly what he did. And I love it.
Yep.
The 4 of 6 from 3. Incredibly impressive, though. You love to see that. The 3 has ebbed and flowed for him this season. But that's the swing skill.
Yep.
Right? That is the swing skill. If he can hit those, and then you have Shea and Dub attacking the basket and then kicking out, and then Josh like catching and attacking again, and then another kick out, and you get that defense moving, it's over.
There is no guarding any of that, especially with Josh's size, to your guys' point. And I think that's what I love so much about Josh's game tonight. And over the I guess now the past 2 games, past 3 games that he's had, just how he's relentlessly attacked the basket. It's kind of funny. Like you look at the post All-Star break game stretch of games, and it's kind of like an encapsulation of how he's played as a whole this entire season. There was that stretch early in the season where he struggled. Then we saw him kind of really make it a conscious effort to be more aggressive and drive to the rim and utilize that size. It wasn't necessarily perfect, but that led to him breaking out of that slump and then playing really well leading up to the All-Star break. And then we've kind of seen something on a much smaller sample size here post All-Star break, right? That first however many games, 4 games or so out of the All-Star break. Now these last couple, we're seeing him be much more aggressive and assertive again, and not really overthinking. I think he likes to overthink a lot because he does think you see the game, view the game at such a high level. He overthinks sometimes, tries to do a little too much. Tonight, it was just the easy stuff. Like you mentioned, Jacob, utilizing the size, dribbling, going attacking the rim, utilizing that size and strength, and then kicking out and creating for others. He didn't really overthink it. I think that's huge.
It wouldn't be an uncontested pod if we didn't say, but what if Chet were here? And I think Giddy, like thinking about the young guys on this team that we feel like are probably a big part of this future. Is there anyone whose game benefits more from having Chet than Josh Giddey?
I was thinking about that. Speaking of Olivier Sarr. Sarr comes in. Dub had an incredible, I know.
Quite a transition from Chet to Olivier Sarr.
But just having a present rim, a lob threat, vertical spacing.
Yeah.
Obviously, Chet's going to be able to do so much more. He's going to be able to space the floor from the 3-point line, which is what you were getting at as well, Justin.
Yes.
He also can play make a little bit and obviously score. But having Olivier Sarr in there, just a competent big man who can finish lobs, like
just a big
benefit,
man.
Giddy benefit. Yeah.
They don't have any
big
big men. They're all small.
Not to get us off topic, because there are a few more things I want to talk about from this game. But you guys watched Chet's YouTube video?
Yes.
Yeah, amazing.
Really good.
He's such a Sam Presti guy. You can see exactly. I mean,
but
he
I also
said,
love
he said everything considered, I would do the exact same thing.
Yes.
I would still play. People keep saying, why was he playing defense in a pro-am? I would still do the same thing. And the quote of the entire thing, he said, I'm going to get it wrong. I tweeted it last night, but it was something like, if you bullshit the game, you might as well not be out there to begin with. And I was man, Presti doesn't
get this man in the All-Star game immediately.
Yeah, Presti doesn't need the blue chew pill. He's got Chet Holmgren. Like, it was just the epitome of like too, Thunder culture. Like,
he's got an absolute edge. Like that's not.
And
something
then
that Shea
also
would
when
really say.
he was like after summer league, I had like my apartment booked in Miami for a week, but I decided I just wanted to go home to Minnesota and work out. And Presti is just like salivating.
What a freak.
Can't wait. And like I mentioned, he's running some 5-0 offense in practice.
Looks
and just
pretty unstoppable against nobodies.
That's right.
But like, I that's the thing I keep coming back to with Josh. Like his passing ability and ability to find lanes, like he's gonna have so much fun with Chet. And I think we're gonna see
summer league.
Yeah, right. We saw it in summer league. Exactly. Like
but so is Dub. So is Shea.
I feel
like
everyone's gonna have a blast. But I feel like Giddy, we're gonna see it whenever that chemistry hits. Again, got a preview in summer league, but like whenever that happens in the regular season next season, I feel like you're gonna hear people talking about like, wow, Josh Giddey's really taking a leap. But like I think it's gonna be a lot due to personnel that he's playing with.
Definitely. Totally fair. And I mean, we're just talking about the offensive side of the ball.
Right?
This team like thrives off steals. How much more aggressive can you play when you've got Chet protecting the rim on your backside?
Protector. Yeah.
I mean, think of those Utah Rudy Gobert defenses, but better because it's not Rudy Gobert.
As much as
think
I hate
about
Rudy
having
Gobert.
Chet and Wemby both back there together. I mean, nobody's going to score.
Oh my God.
Wemby off the LA Clippers lotto jump because the Thunder beat him in the play-in. All right, we got to wrap up this game, but I have a few more things I want to mention just real quick. Lou Dort, 1 of 9 from the field, 0 of 6 from 3. The pendulum swings, Justin.
Indeed.
You talked about it Friday. Bounce back game. This is I bounce back the other way. I don't know any. I was going to try to.
Whatever the opposite of a bounce is.
Yeah, fall flat on your face. I was happy Lou only took 9 shots. I didn't have to watch him chuck up very poor decisioned shots. I thought there were some poor decisions tonight, but I digress. We mentioned Usman earlier, 20 minutes, 12 points, 4 rebounds, 2 steals. Thought he looked a little more physical tonight.
Yep,
agreed. More
I like some of the drives. The last one I want to touch on, and this one will just be real fast as well. Dario Saric, 14 minutes, 3 of 5 from the field, 8 points, 3 rebounds. I've tweeted about it a few times over the weekend. Whenever they made that trade, my percentage on he'll be gone this summer was at like 96, 97%. The more time goes on, that percentage continues to drop.
Yep.
If you told me right now they sign Saric to a 3-year deal this summer, like I would not be shocked at all. He fits what they want to do to an absolute T.
I think I touched on this on my post game earlier in the week, but like one thing that I love seeing from Saric that we just didn't really get to see from him playing with the Suns, he is doing. I think the best way to put it is like when we talked about Baisley, we talked about how going to the Suns could benefit him because he needed a more defined role for his development. On the flip side, I think Saric is benefiting from less structure, if that makes sense offensively.
Yeah.
Because we're seeing him just strip the ball off the rim on a defensive rebound and just push it in transition rather than immediately throwing it out to a Chris Paul or Devin Booker, utilizing some of that ball handling and just the versatility that he possesses. And then on obviously the offensive end, just kind of being a much better connector than I think he was going to be, Jacob. Like, I'm curious your thoughts.
He passes really well.
Especially
he had a pass to like
bigs.
a backdoor cutting Shea today.
Right.
That was beautiful. I know the wound is still fresh for Thunder fans. I know they love him. I love him. I hope he wins a title. Is Dario Saric like a better Mike Muscala fit?
Whoa.
Did we get a fair shot at Mike Muscala with like some of these best lineups? Like, that's what I
Correct.
will always wonder about.
That's fair.
He also can
Dario
shoot the ball
shoots
better,
kind of
but
like, I mean, Muscala shoots the ball really well, but you take a
Saric
small
still
dip in the
shoots well.
shooting. Saric shoots it well, but you add some inside game, better defense, better passing, can bring the ball up the court.
Yep.
Isn't that exactly what they're building this offense around?
It's almost like a better fitting. I mean, I guess that's essentially what you asked. Yeah, it may be a better fitting Muscala, especially long term.
Yeah.
I still just like fingers crossed, knock on wood. I wonder about Sarge's health because he has battled injuries. I
fair.
think that's, but this version of him is really perfect for. I mean, you can even envision him playing alongside Chet in certain lineups next season.
Yeah. I mean, if they sign him for like 3 years, like 26 million this summer, something like
Pocket
that, give him
change.
like 9 mil a year. I mean, that'd be awesome. Basically, he gets like the mid-level.
I know we aren't going through comments yet. This is just something I didn't really think of when we were going through this. And so Robert did bring up a really good point in the chat. Dario is fun, but with Chet, Poku, J. Will, it's going to be hard to get him minutes. Obviously, like
Probably
you're going
gets
to be
minutes
competing
over
for
J.
minutes.
Will.
Yeah, right, exactly. But the Poku one was the one that I think is a good point. Again,
I hope Poku
maybe he
comes
gets it
back
over
this
Poku.
year.
Me too. He looked a little better in some of the clips we've seen from practice.
Yeah.
But I've heard some negative things about that injury. I don't usually have sources. In this case, I have been told some things, and I'll put it this way. It's not surprising to the team that he's been out this long. It's unfortunate.
Yeah. I think he'll come back. I'm hoping he'll come back.
Me too.
Any other stuff from this game?
I just love that you touched on Oos. Thought he had a really solid contribution.
I think
It's
he'll
good to see him
continue to
be a
get
little more
minutes.
confident.
Yep.
Me too.
Yep.
I agree.
You see him on TV. I was in person the past 2 games. You see him up close in person.
How big does he look?
The length is overwhelming. Like, it really is. The arms are so damn long.
Justin.
The length
Where's
is
Sounder?
overwhelming. Yeah.
Where's Silva? We need a sounder.
Where was the one? What did Jacob say last Sunday where he's like, I'm going to get clipped on this one, but.
Oh, we're talking about Grady Dick.
Yeah.
I think I said I want me some dick or something like that.
And now we have length. But I am curious how Oos looked in person, and that totally makes
Moves so fluidly. Whenever he realizes that he's big as shit,
Yes.
it's going to be a problem.
Oh, I can't wait.
He's got some really nice finesse to his game. The shot looked really good tonight. He needs a little bit of dog in him.
He's
Maybe Chet will rub off on him a little bit. But
I'm
okay.
excited about Oos.
Okay, so enough about the Utah game. After a 5-game losing streak, it's fun to just beat the absolute hell out of a team 2 times in a row.
Yes.
Makes you kind of feel good about yourself. So Thunder fans are kind of split, guys. Half of the fan base says, screw it, bottom out, get to that 5 or 6 spot in the tank standings, get a better chance at Wemby. The other half says, push for the play-in, like win games. That's what you're here to do. I think Justin is more on team tank.
Correct.
I'm on team, dude, I'm just along for the ride. It's fun either way.
That's a cop out.
I'm having a blast. It is a cop out, but I don't want to have to choose a side and then have a 50% chance of being mad. If they make the play-in, I'm stoked.
I'm not mad, to be clear. I'm probably on the same team as you. But as far as what I would rather them do, I'd rather them bottom out.
I mean, and that's fair. Like, I don't think that's a wrong opinion to have.
It's just
I
not
don't
right,
think that's what
Justin.
they're going to do.
Well, yeah, not after the quote tonight. It sure doesn't feel that
they're
way.
just going to play it out, and where the chips fall is where the chips fall.
Yep.
So
Agreed.
let's put ourselves in the mindset that they are pushing for a play-in or a play-in spot or a playoff spot. Okay, they are making that push. What are 5 things how many games do they have left? 19?
18.
18? 5 things that need to happen the rest of the way if the Thunder want to be in the play-in. If the Thunder are in the play-in, these 5 things have to happen. Sometimes when we get on the podcast, I think because my background is teaching, I bring a teacher mindset to the podcast.
Which
And
I think
feel
works
that's
really
what
well.
I feel like that's what I'm doing here. 5 things. But let's not give like bullshit answers like, well, they need to win games, right?
I
have to tell my
first play.
I have to tell my students this all the time. Like, hey, when we compare and contrast something, don't put, the most obvious thing. Like, I don't want to get into teaching stuff, but I feel like I have to caveat. Don't just say they got to win games, score more points than the opponent.
Look, Jacob, you were talking.
Shea's going to be really good. Like
very
AP
valid.
class students here, and Justin and I. We understand the assignment, and we
Speak for
overachieve.
yourself.
Justin's like, well, crap, I can't use those now.
Justin, kick us
Yes.
off. Thing 1 of 5 that has to happen for the Thunder to make the postseason.
We need peak Wu-Tang Clan.
I didn't have that one. That's good.
He's not been playing up to form. We know what he can do. If you look at the games left on the schedule, Golden State, Phoenix again, Clippers twice, Portland, Detroit, Phoenix again, Golden State again, Memphis. There's a lot of important matchups in that 18 games for Lou Dort to be Lou Dort on the defensive end. They're going to need somebody to lock down some of the best players in the league, some of the best players in the Western Conference specifically, in order for the Thunder to win some of those games. It's going to be necessary that we get locked down Lou. And so he's going to have to perform and be what we know he can be, what we've seen many times, but we've not been seeing as consistently post All-Star break.
I think that's fair. You think back to the game they won in Denver and his defense on Jamal Murray to end the game. You think of that second Portland game here in Oklahoma City against Dame. You think of that third Portland game whenever he came off the bench and was tasked with locking Dame up in that second half.
Yep.
I even think about Friday night's game and Justin's post game Friday, where he played so well against Laurie.
He was awesome. Yeah.
Tonight. Yeah.
They're so funny to me. They put 6'3" Lou Dort on 7-foot Laurie Markkinen, and it worked.
And it worked.
It's awesome.
Granted, he does struggle with smaller, quicker guards like De'Aaron Fox, but I think that's a really good one.
Well, thankfully, they don't play De'Aaron Fox for the rest of the season.
I think Tayler muted himself. That's okay. No, Justin, I'm totally with you. Like, if they want to get to where they want to go, Lou is a massive catalyst for that on that end of the court, right? I think Dub has been really good defensively. I think Shea has been really good defensively when he's played. But you're ace in the hole. You got to have that guy.
Yep.
You got to have him be consistent.
Yep.
I think that's totally fair. Taylor, are you back? I'm going to take that as a no.
Take that as a no.
This man is staring into the abyss. All right. So I'll take thing number 2 that has to happen for the Thunder to make the postseason. And that would be the bench needs to continue to show out. I feel like, especially when Shea was out those 4 games. Was it 4 games? 5. It was 5. 4 losses and a win. When Shea was out, I thought those bench units had like impeccable ball movement. I thought Dario being out there. Taylor, I think you're back now. He still can't hear me. I think Dario has been a really impressive piece off the bench. I think the ball movement with him out there has been awesome. You look tonight, a guy like Aaron Wiggins didn't score much. Joe had 6 points, but you have Oos with 12, Dario with 8. Especially not having Kenrich Williams, which was the catalyst of your bench unit, the guy that kept everything together. The glue guy, but the glue is on steroids. Like, you have to have other guys step up on that bench and continue. That bench keeps them afloat most games, right? They have to continue to have that in order to have a chance to get where they want to go, I think.
Totally agree. I mean, so many different guys can step up on any given night. And I think that's what's exciting. There's so many prospects up and down this roster that are interesting, that can bring different things to the table and different matchups, different scenarios that you kind of need a little bit from all of them, right? It's not like you're relying on any one bench player to be like the sixth man every night on this team. It's really kind of any given night, any one of those guys can step up and give you the juice you need.
So I missed that one because my clumsy elbow pulled this cord out of my mic. However, I can kind of pick up on what you all are discussing.
The bench unit.
Sounds about right. And like you all said, just about anybody can step up. I think that's a good one. I have one here.
So we've got the return of Wu-Tang Clan.
Yep.
The bench has to continue to excel. Thing number 3, the Thunder need to do in order to make a postseason run. Tayler, what do you got?
Again, I sound like a broken record because I've talked a lot about this over the past 2 seasons, but I actually kind of pride myself on it because this is the sort of team that Presti is building and something that Dayton talks about so much. But this team is at their best when they're playing transition basketball, not when they're playing half-court basketball. Granted, Shea's been really good, and that gives me hope for like in the playoffs when the game slows down and you need an ISO bucket, a one-on-one, 2-on-2 kind of basketball game. However, just for context, in the last 2 wins, the Thunder have generated 21 steals, 41 turnovers, and have 60 points off those turnovers. Again, the same team. I understand extremely small sample size, but I think that kind of epitomizes that this team is at their best when they're creating turnovers, they're getting steals and deflections, and they're scoring off of those turnovers and creating a transition. So they have to remain engaged defensively and push the pace on offense. Also, I found this really interesting, kind of to that point. Again, this is off NBA stats, and I kind of had to double check it. Currently second in points per game per NBA stats, which I find interesting. I think a lot of that is because of how fast they play and that pace they play with.
Pace, lot of opportunities. So yeah, no, I think that's good. They excel in transition. They have guys that can really run the floor. They got guys that can turn guys over at the point of attack. Those are the types of things that. Justin, I think you were the one that mentioned earlier, having Dario Saric able to like just grab a rebound off the rim and push it.
Hey, that was me. Thank you.
Taylor, I'm sorry.
I'll take credit.
Those types of things, I think, are what allow the Thunder's offense to be so potent. So yeah, definitely. Can't let teams grind you down into a half-court setting right now. Okay, so we've got 3 of the 5. Justin, number 4. The next thing the Thunder need to do if they hope to make it to the postseason.
Well, obviously, it's getting Chet healthy and letting him play the rest of the season, right, guys? No? No.
Can't say I had that one either, but.
So this one's less like technical and schematic focused, but just more looking at the schedule. I think the Thunder might literally have to win all their home games. The schedule there's a lot of tough teams left this season and a lot of challenging road games. And I think the Thunder this season, their record currently 19-15 at home, 11-19 on the road. I think they're going to need a lot of home victories down the stretch in order to realistically be in the play. And they're going to have to capitalize on being better at home. And that's tough. The games they have at home the rest of the year, Golden State, who's been tough for them this year, Brooklyn, maybe not as tough as they used to be, Phoenix, Charlotte, and Detroit. Hopefully those are both wins. And then you close with Phoenix again and Memphis. I know we've talked about a lot, but like 3 games against Phoenix down the stretch, 2 of those at home. you got to use that to your advantage. I'm not saying that they can win both of those against Phoenix, but that's your best shot at realistically getting into the play-in, is capitalizing on playing well at home, which we know young teams typically play a lot better at home than they do on the road, because on the road, there's some nasty matchups, like the back-to-back against the Clippers is going to be tough. Heading up out to Phoenix, like I mentioned before, they've got to play at New Orleans, who's eaten their lunch all season long. They have to play at the Lakers, who are actually competent now. They have to play at Indiana, at Golden State, and at Utah. Not that hopefully by that point in the season, Utah is not challenging, but it's not an easy schedule. So they're going to have to make the most of the opportunities they have when they're playing in OKC.
I think that's a great point. When I look at the schedule, Justin, there is a stretch coming up in 2 weeks. The 21st at the Clippers, 23rd at the Clippers, 24th at the Lakers, 26th at the Blazers.
Rough.
That is a 4-game road stretch.
And
against 4 teams.
You left off at home against Phoenix right before that road stretch.
Yeah. But even if we don't include Phoenix, those 4 games, Clippers, Lakers, Portland, those are 4 road games against 3 teams who are now right in that same area that the Thunder are.
Yep.
Right, because the Clippers are free falling. Like absolutely free falling. Shout out Russell Westbrook giving the Thunder one last parting gift. The Lakers are where they're at. Portland is where they're at. That stretch, that late in the season, after that 4-game stretch, they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 games left. That 4-game stretch feels like it is going to be pivotal.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you can go 500 in those 4 road games, like you're giving yourself a legit shot.
Yep.
Nothing would make me more happy than for them to beat the Clippers 2 times in LA.
Amazing.
To bump the Clippers below them in the standings. That would,
and then take their pick.
Few things in life would make me more happy than that. But I think you're onto something there. The road home split, and some of the ones that they have to steal.
Yep.
Taylor, you have any thoughts on the schedule thing?
Just again, I agree. It's a really, really good one. And I think just as a whole, I don't have this pulled up. Not worth the time at this point to go ahead and do so. But the Thunder have played better this season when they're playing at home. Players have even mentioned it. So yeah, I think that's a really good point. Have to capitalize on those homestands.
Yeah, and the road has been a challenge, but I think back to that. What was it? Miami, Philly, Chicago, Brooklyn stretch, where they lost to Miami and then rattled off 3 straight.
Yep.
Mark talked about the other day how back at the end of December, early January, they were in a little losing streak and they won a game real big, and that was a catalyst for them to go on a run in January. And he mentioned it after the 5-game losing streak and them beating the Jazz. Hopefully they're finding something here.
Yep.
And they can continue to let the stuff roll.
Sidebar, looking at win or home and away records in the West right now. Do you know who has, not counting Spurs and Rockets because all their records are terrible, home and away, who has the worst away record in the West?
Golden State Warriors.
Golden State,
like, they've been awful.
I knew it was bad, but it's so much worse than I thought. They're 7-24 on the road.
Yeah,
that's
and they come
awful.
to. They lost today on the road.
Yeah,
and they come to Oklahoma City on Tuesday.
And they come to that's right.
It's gonna be a big one. Number 5. I can't break my own rule and say like injuries and health, right? That's like cheating. So I will go with the 5th thing that the Thunder need if they want to make a run is for J-Dub to keep running through that wall. The rookie wall was put in front of him, and that man went Hulk smash.
Kool-Aid
and
man.
Went, oh, yeah. Kicked right through it. I mean, he's the catalyst, dude. Like, Shea is incredible, right? Shea is like 1A above everything else. Giddy has been really good. But I think the thing that's pushing this team over the top is J-Dub.
And his development, I agree.
If you remove him from the equation, this team struggles. He has been so good. if he can continue, I'm not saying continue going 32, 5-5, but if he can continue to score in that 16-point range,
Yep.
and then contribute all the other stuff he's been contributing. At some point in the second quarter tonight, they flashed his stats, and he was 8 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, a steal, and a block, and halfway through the second quarter. I was just like, this is absurd, dude. And the stats don't do it justice. The stats don't even come close to doing it justice.
That's what gets me is he's stuffing the stat sheet, but when you watch it, it feels even more impactful. I think I said that on Friday a little bit as well. It's just watching him play, he is everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
It's
and so,
awesome.
like you said, you don't need him to do, what he's done the past couple games, but just slightly above his season average, which is more than where he's been, in the past couple weeks. That's very attainable with how he's been playing lately. But man, he's really kind of cemented himself as a very crucial part of this team's success.
You kind of hinted at there, Justin, but one thing that's very unique about J-Dub that you don't often see with young players is not when we talk about young players, rookies getting confidence. Often we're talking about the offensive side of the ball. He's doing so on the defensive side of the ball as well. And that two-way impact, just like Jacob was alluding to, the stat lines. I mean, it is really, really impressive. And that was actually on my list as well. I think I worded it differently, and that you have to have the ball in J-Dub's hands because good things always seem to happen. I didn't have time to pull up the actual on-off stats, but good things always tend to happen when J-Dub has the ball in his hands. And what I love tonight, not just the big, quote-unquote, big three, Dub, Giddy, Shea, all playing really well off each other, all contributing at a high level. But even with Shea back in the fold, we still saw lineups where Dub was a primary ball handler. And I think that's really important moving forward. I want to continue to see not necessarily more of that when you have both both Giddy and Shea available, but still seeing Dub have the opportunity to have the ball in his hands and be the primary creator.
I love it. So our 5 things. Number 1 was Justin's, which was... What was it, Justin?
What was it?
Oh my goodness. Should we work in reverse?
I don't remember what I said.
Let's work in reverse. We'll get there.
Oh, the Dort. The
Dort.
Dort
Yes.
impact.
Okay. Thank you.
Wu-Tang Clan makes his return. There we go.
That's the one.
Goodness.
Yikes.
Did I have number 2? I did have
You
number
did.
2, which was the bench.
Yes.
Tayler had number 3, which was
Transition basketball.
transition basketball. Justin with number 4.
Win at home.
Got to that road home split. Got to take care of the easy ones. And then number 5, J-Dub goes Kool-Aid Man and keeps busting through that wall. Well, speaking of the road home split, Justin, let's make some predictions for this next week. In 2 days, the Thunder play the Golden State Warriors at home. Steph Curry will be playing. Justin just mentioned how bad the Warriors are on the road. Thunder 0-2 against the Warriors this season, including an absolute throttling up in Oakland. What happens Tuesday night, Justin?
I think it's a loss, man. I think the Warriors just have the Thunder's number, and I don't think that changes even though it's in OKC.
Taylor, what do you got?
Surprisingly, I'm going the other way. I think we're going to extend this win streak, get the W against the W's at home.
Very good.
The W's.
I just really want to say
Dubs.
they're going to get a win. They've seen this team twice. They know what to expect now. I just hope to God they don't play drop coverage on Draymond Green ball screens. Kills me. So many open clay threes. A back-to-back Wednesday night, the Thunder go out to Phoenix to play the Suns. It was a close game in Phoenix last time without Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Big piece back for Phoenix, though, and Kevin Durant. Their games have been pretty close with KD playing. Squeaked by the Dallas Mavericks today. Taylor, what happens out in Phoenix?
Yeah, I think this one is the L. Again, with KD back, I did not get to watch a lot of non-Thunder basketball this weekend, even this past week, but I did get to watch a little bit of that game today, and they're just playing. I mean, that's it's reminiscent of the Warriors when you have or when you had Katie healthy. So I'm going to no.
Justin?
Agreed. KD's back, and what does he have? 35 today?
35. While Booker had another like 37.
That's what's
something.
tough. Like looking at the Thunder, their defense can be really good. I don't know how it matches up against the Suns. That's a tough ask for anybody.
I agree. Is J-Dub going to get the KD assignment?
That's what I wonder. Like, how do you match up that team?
Booker.
It's probably Dort on Booker, Shea on CP.
Chris. Yep.
And I think it's J-Dub on KD.
Yikes.
Welcome to the league, Rook.
Yeah. I mean,
I love it.
I do too.
I absolutely love it. Saturday, the Thunder go to New Orleans. The Pelicans are 1-4 out of the break. They've been bad. They do lead the season series against the Thunder 3-0, I believe. 2 losses in Oklahoma City, 1 down in New Orleans. What happened Saturday night down in NOLA, down in the Big Easy, Justin?
I think OKC finally beats the Pelicans.
I like it.
Justin and I are going completely opposite this week.
What?
I've got 2 away games like that. Just watching the way this Thunder team has played. I don't know. We could see some weird stuff with like Shea sitting. I really don't know. I don't feel good about it. I'm going an L against the Pelicans. Although if our guy Jacob is there, as he may be, we'll see. We'll see potentially. I'm going to have to change that to a W. But until then, I'm going an L against the Suns, L against the Pelicans.
I will go with a win against Pelicans. I'm on Team Justin here. Yeah. I don't think the Pelicans are beating them 4 times in a row.
They better not.
I think the Thunder had a lot of trouble with the Pelicans' length.
Yep.
I think you see guys
which is kind of ironic,
like Shea and Dub have really big nights. It was the bench unit that really sunk the Thunder the last time against the Pelicans, and they still came back from 20 down and almost won it. I think they're locked in. They get it this time. And then the last game, Sunday night, another back-to-back right before we go live on here. The Thunder visit. Is that right? Are they on the road at the San Antonio Spurs? Spurs just recently broke their 12-plus game losing streak.
Mm-hmm.
They are just god-awful. I think they lost to the Rockets tonight. Last time I checked, they were getting smoked by like 25.
Yep.
So I would assume they lost.
The Rockets broke a losing streak.
Oh, my God.
Good for them. So what happens Sunday night down on the Riverwalk in San Antonio, Taylor?
I mean, obviously it's pretty easy, but even then, I just think after the Thunder aren't going to lose more than 2 straight games. So I'm going with the W against the Spurs, even though it's against the Spurs, kind of like tonight's game against a not full strength Jazz. I think kind of gets us back on track. So I'm going to go ahead and go with the W here.
So Taylor's got him 2-2 this week.
I think it's a W as well. There's no way. The Spurs are wimbing so hard. And they're doing a great job.
And that is the team I want to see him on, if it's not the Thunder, obviously.
So Justin also has 2-2?
Correct. Just a different 2-2.
Very good. I'm going 3-1, gentlemen.
Spicy.
Oh.
I know it's a little spicy. It's a little spicy. I think Shea being back, seeing what he did tonight, I'm ready. Give me 3-1. Awesome. Let's take a quick break. We'll come back for some Around the Association and then get you guys out of here. All right, welcome back, gentlemen. We didn't do it last week, but it is time to go around the association.
I don't even know where you're sitting at.
Maybe the best sounder on the show. Incredible. All right, gentlemen, for Around the Association, I wanted to focus a little more on the postseason. So first question, which teams have the most to prove this postseason? Meaning like things could change pretty drastically for them this summer if they do not perform well. Anybody jump off the page at you?
Man, there's a lot of good ones to choose from.
I've
Honestly,
got two that I think are low hanging fruit that I can get us kicked off with if you guys would like.
let's do it.
From the East, it is the Philadelphia 76ers.
That
Great
was
one.
where I was going to go
Yep.
first. All
If-
that buzz about Harden in Houston.
And if
Things
Harden
don't
leaves,
go
they don't
well.
have cap space to get anybody else.
Nope.
Does the Embiid request come shortly after?
Mm-hmm. Does that make you sad as a Thunder fan? Like
What, like him
seeing the
leaving?
process go down in flames with nothing to show for it.
Make me
Not
sad as
really.
a Thunder fan? No, because they didn't let the process play its way out.
Touche.
Yeah.
Good point.
Yep. Also, like, again, rabbit holes and broken records, et cetera, but like, is this really the process? Because it's been
True.
3 years, like, and it's already looking way better. Again,
Very true.
still,
My West team is definitely the Dallas Mavericks.
Mhm.
yeah.
When you play with fire, you tend to get burned. And Kyrie Irving is like the center of Mount Doom that melted the One Ring.
Agreed. And obviously,
I mean, shit, even if you win, he might just walk this summer.
exactly.
And then you've traded assets, and now you have nothing to show for it. It's just all gone. And then how much longer does Lucas stay around if you
Yeah.
can't build anything around him?
Yep.
I feel like there's a lot riding on the Dallas run.
I think that's a good one. And obviously, like you said, Jacob, Kyrie could go Phoenix. He could go and go play with KD and be the CP3 replacement that we've talked a little bit about, or go and play with LeBron in LA. So I think that's a really good one.
And the other ones?
Speaking of the Lakers, I think you do have to talk about them here, because what if they do? This obviously AD had a great game tonight, but or earlier today. What if he can't stay healthy?
Mhm.
Or just doesn't play well, and the team as a whole doesn't play well, and LeBron's injury continues to nag him, and he isn't able to come back, and they miss the play-in, and their lottery pick goes to the Pelicans in that situation. That feels like a big one to me as well.
Yep.
Again, kind of low-hanging fruit,
Yep.
but still
No, it's a good one.
I would also add in the Clippers.
another
how,
great one.
How disappointing.
Birdman rubs hands. .gif.
How disappointing for that pairing. Like quite literally nothing to show for it. I think this is a big off season for them. And like you said earlier, Jacob, they're not doing hot. They've lost 5 in a row. They
Yep.
just traded for, or not traded for, but they just picked Russ up. Like that's another gamble that feels like a lot of balls in the air for the Clippers.
Agreed.
They are
I-
currently up 6 on the Memphis Grizzlies, who have their own problems.
Agreed.
So I don't think Memphis fits on this list.
No.
Agreed.
Unless
I don't
Jaw
either.
decides to bring a gun to a playoff game. So you never know.
Shoot or shoot.
You never know.
Shoot your shot.
Hope there's no 17-year-olds in attendance.
Yikes. That's right.
Um,
Hey, I have a Western Conference sleeper if you guys are interested in it.
yeah.
Look, this team, it's a sleeper because it's not as critical as the teams we already have mentioned due to their plethora of assets. However, this current iteration, I think, iteration of the team is out of thread. If they don't make the playoffs or play in, or even flame out in the first round. I'm talking about the New Orleans Pelicans.
I thought you were going there.
Speaking of the Pelicans, because obviously, like, there is a real world where Zion doesn't come back this season. Again, that's not like source. That's not been reported. Maybe he does come back, but like,
Well,
He can't stay healthy.
all we have to go off of is evidence.
right.
And the evidence says this dude's going to play 30 games this season.
Exactly.
People want to
And then
push
you
back
built your
against
team
that. New
around him.
Orleans fans want to push back against that. Cool. That's fine. I like to write fanfic as well. But until I see it, I don't believe it.
Exactly. And then you obviously, Ingram's on the team. He's great when he plays. He's been banged up as well this season. But he's even a little more reliable. And then and CJ McCollum's still playing. Hasn't quite looked the same as he did when they traded for him last season.
CJ's only getting older.
And he's getting older and older. So again, they're in a much better position than the other teams we mentioned because they have the plethora of assets. They can pivot. like how drastic do you have to pivot if the season doesn't work out? Do you hold on a little too long simply because you have Zion on your team? Or are you more opportunistic if you're David Griffin this offseason and try and do something a little more dramatic instead of just holding on to hope for Zion's health?
I think that's fair. 2 in the East before we move out of here. I'm just going to throw the names out. If you guys want to talk about them, we can. The Atlanta Hawks and the Toronto Raptors.
Yes, I think that's a really good. Well, both are good ones. Toronto maybe more so on the Pelican side, just because even though they don't have the plethora of picks, they still have the young assets. But man, the Hawks.
Atlanta spent all the assets.
Exactly.
They got what they got.
Yes, they did.
I don't know.
The Hawks are the cautionary tale, man. Like for a rebuilding team. And I thought I was going to eat crow because they had a really fun playoff run, but that was singular. They had a fun playoff run. And I think that is a great reminder that one fun playoff run is not worth pushing your chips in too early.
Does getting a new coach so late in the season push back if they do bad this offseason, then the summer could be massive change?
Yep. I think so.
I think
buy
so.
them time.
I think so. I don't think Trey moves this summer.
No.
But if they start off bad next season, I think the alarm bells start going off.
I'm curious about the Trey Young, Quinn Snyder fit.
It'll be interesting
from a personality standpoint.
Agreed. Totally agreed. Second question for Around the Association. Which 5 to 10 seed in each conference has the best chance to make a conference finals push? For the record, right now in the East, 5 to 10. So we're basically looking at teams that don't have home court. Knicks, Nets, Heat, Hawks, Raptors, Wizards. There's a chance that the Pacers or the Bulls could sneak in to that 10th spot. For the West, we're talking Dubs, Timberwolves, Mavericks, Clippers, Pelicans, Jazz. You could maybe throw Lakers, Thunder, Blazers into that mix as well.
I'll start with the East. I think for me, it's always Miami. Like the run they made in the bubble, there's always a chance. Jimmy's got that dog in him. Mm-hmm. I think that, they can be up and down all throughout the season, but I think that's not a team you want to face in a playoff series.
I think that's the only one that jumps out in the East to me.
This one's kind of cheating because they are technically the 5 seed, but the Knicks are playing really, really good basketball.
Yep.
Yeah, they are
9-1 in their last 10. Brunson didn't even play today, and they still.
But man, if they made a run to the conference finals, that means that they are. I mean, maybe
out team like the
one of Bucks, Celtics, Sixers lose in the first round. But if they go 7 with one of those teams and win,
it's legit.
That's big. I have a hard time seeing that happen. The West feels like it's too easy. It's the Dubs and it's the Clippers, right?
Yep. Clippers is the only other one.
Maybe the Mavs.
I
have zero. Like,
hey, Timberwolves 34 and 32 right now.
If you made me bet, I would bet on the Mavs. Like, if it was, did the Mavs lose in the first round or did they make the conference finals? I'm putting all my money on the first round. Like, Luka's incredible.
Yeah.
They play no defense. They have nothing outside of those two. Like, I have no faith in that team at all.
But we've seen it before.
It's
like,
true.
They had no business making it last year.
And Kyrie was hurt. Not Kyrie. Luka banged up a little bit today, and they still went toe to toe with the Suns. I'll entertain it, Justin. I'll entertain it.
Thank you. I don't believe in it, but I'll entertain it.
It's like a very, very big wild card. I mean, I get it. You guys put any stock in the Lakers at all?
Yeah, honestly, yes. They've been playing much better post trade deadline.
Yeah. Helps when AD is healthy and engaged.
Indeed it does.
I don't trust that health for a conference finals run.
It's a big ask, but I think they can. Winning a series is totally plausible.
Fair.
Anything else, guys?
Oklahoma City Thunder, obviously,
Hey,
Sneak in that 10 seed.
conference finals run.
Then
Beat Denver.
head to the finals.
You beat Denver. You beat Phoenix. And then get to the finals against I don't know who's the Kings.
Dude, if the
Sign
Kings
me
make a
up.
conference finals run, sign me up right.
Agreed.
Dude, if the
Light the
Kings make
beam.
a conference finals run, Sacramento might burn.
Print the beam team shirts.
Yes.
I mean, people go blind from the beam.
I don't think you can say that.
All right, let's get out of here. Hey, thank you guys so much for tuning in. The live stream. Oh, we were supposed to go through comments on the live stream. Hey, the closing music will play for 4 minutes, Justin. Just pick some of your favorites. Let's go.
Okay. Before the stream even got started, we had some people plotting out some acronyms for some Thunder players. We had A-Man A with SGA stands for someone getting all NBA.
I love it.
We had our guy Meek Leak, J-Dub, just doing unbelievable basketball.
Love it.
And Gable, Giddy, great, interesting decisions. Defense, yay.
It's my favorite.
Which might be my favorite one.
Print the shirts.
I was trying, while I was sitting in the stream by myself, waiting for you two Yahoos to join, I was trying to come up with an acronym for Tayler that included like really late, but I was struggling, and so I gave up.
There's something there.
There's something there. There's something there. Meek Leak in the chat, a really good comment. Isn't it crazy how fast things change? At the start of the season, JRE and Man were considered key players.
Amazing what we can talk ourselves into in the off season.
Indeed.
No,
Speaking
some of these
of-
guys are going to rise. Some of them are going to sink. And that's the roster churn will inevitably happen.
Yep. Speaking of convincing ourselves of things, Andrew, J-Dub is sophomore Harden 2.0.
I think it's more like Jaylen Brown, but Harden's fine.
Yeah. that's
Kidding.
fine.
I like it.
Kind of kidding.
Remember,
Kinda.
Harden used to play really good defense.
Remember
when he was in
that? Yeah.
Remember him like locking up Kobe?
Pre-strip clubs, he locked down on D.
Yeah.
Jalen Williams, presumably not the basketball player in the chat. Would you rather have J-Dub or Jay Green?
I like to think this is J-Dub talking to us saying, would you rather have J-Dub or Jalen Green?
I choose to believe that.
And why Dub?
I'm biased.
Yeah.
One of
that's
them
kinda
plays
how I feel.
defense.
Mhm.
One of them is physically more imposing. The other one's more athletic. The other one's also Trey Man with a green light. So
Dub also he impacts the game in so many different ways than just his scoring.
it'll be interesting to see how those two careers play out. Jalen
Very.
Green's younger.
Yep. Very interesting. Very, very, very hard not to compare prospects among these two franchises.
I like our Jalen better.
Another question from Jalen Williams. If you can trade for Amon, you do it. You guys agree?
Dude can't shoot. A lot of people think he'll never shoot. That scares me.
Yeah.
Oh, I do it.
I was
actually
going to
have-
say that was
I've-
really just setting up Taylor.
I've been thinking about this, but I'll save it for another podcast.
Mm-hmm. Okay. We got
I'm
Taylor
in.
on the Amon trade.
I'm all in.
I like it. Let's see what else. Okay. We got a hot take from Andrew. J-Dub will eventually be better than Shea.
Yeah, put this one in Mount Doom as well. Hey, if that happens,
We're
hell
sitting
yeah,
pretty,
brother.
right? Exactly. We're in great shape. Great shape. Kamel in the chat, what's Russ' future look like after this season?
Is he still in the league?
Dude. But is he?
Bet Online tweeted out odds, and the Shanghai Sharks were the leading whatever. I mean, it's
You can throw lobs at Dwight.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, there's going to be a team that will want him on a vet minimum if he's willing to accept it.
Be interesting. Makes me sad, man. And last but not
OKC
least,
Blue head coach,
dude.
Russ Westbrook.
Last but not least, we have A-Man coming in clutch, giving us a Taylor acronym. there and yet late every recorded parentheses pod.
Hey, Taylor's last name is
there,
Peterson.
damn it.
So the P works.
Ah, boom.
Could be another sounder. The P works.
The P works. That's what she said. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in. So many people in the chat. It's incredible. I love it. Absolutely love it. Shout out to all the degenerates who are still on with us at 10:30 p.m. on a Sunday and not watching The Last of Us. Shout out to you guys. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. We will be back with you again on Tuesday as the Thunder take on Steph Curry and the Golden State Warriors. Our very own J.D. Silva will be with you guys after that game. Thursday, no, it's Wednesday. I'm sorry. We have the Suns. Our guy Tayler Peterson will be on that one. And then Saturday, New Orleans Pelicans. No clue who's going to be on that one yet. We'll figure that out and get back to you. You guys have a great beginning of your week. Please make sure to sub to wherever you download your pod, sub to the YouTube channel. Follow us on all social media. We'll chat soon. Until then, and as always, Thunder up.